Before Daedalus bestowed a pair of bronze wings to Icarus, he gave him the following words of warning. "Icarus, my son, if you fly too high, the heat will melt them." Icarus did not listen, and during their flight home, Icarus flew higher and higher until the sun melted the wax between the feathers and he came crashing down to his death. Icarus' story has long been told to deter people from taking risks, to caution them against heedless ambition. When I dropped out of university to pursue my path, my father specifically quoted this story, warning me against taking unnecessary risks for fear of failure. It's easy to accept the status quo. Icarus does die a completely avoidable death, but on re-examination, the myth shifts from cautionary to aspirational. History focuses on Icarus' fall, but imagine his experience in the air. Imagine unfurling your wings for the first time, catching a gust of wind and leaping through the air towards the ocean you stared longingly at from your prison cell your entire life. Imagine waves of pure acoustic bliss crescendo across your back as the sun appears from behind the clouds, beckoning you closer. Ride in updraft 100, then 200, then 300 meters into the air. From this angle, the world is so beautiful. Humanity is stretched on a canvas before you, all her struggles, triumphs, darkness, and light, just brushstrokes yet to be painted. Ascending towards Zeus above, sweat beads across your forehead. Beneath you, Daedalus' faint voice breaks through the sound of wind whipping across your face, warning you of catastrophe if you continue to rise. Already you feel the wax closest to your body begin to soften and your mind wanders to your own mortality, what you would give up continuing to experience this. You remember the sleepless nights, staring across the prison cell and try to imagine life in Greece, where you should be calling home. Suddenly, the familiar feeling of indignant rage bubbles up inside you. What have you missed? You were born drawing dead into a life of captivity. Your father is a mad architect, your mother a Cretan slaves, your friends the servants and guards Minos sent to your cell. Any semblance of family you had is still in Crete, and you rely on the man responsible for your torment to stay alive. Maybe you'll finally feel at home when you arrive, but maybe you won't. Maybe you'll forever be the boy locked away with his father, the creator of monsters. Just a little bit higher and you feel hot wax dripping across your arms, and in a heartbeat your momentum shifts. Bronze feathers release in every direction like seeds of a dandelion, and you succumb to nature's choreography. In one motion, your body flows from rising to steady to freefall before finally being plunged into the deep blue underneath. You struggle for a moment before letting the warm, tranquil water swaddle you. The water cleanses your sins, releasing all accumulated tension of your life, and your mind condenses into a singularity. Ashes to ashes and dust to dust, you've come to rest at the bottom of the sea, reclaimed by the food chain. How many of you can truthfully say that you've experienced that joy? At the time, Icarus was the only member of humanity to ever feel that. Even Daedalus was confined to the air beneath him. Part of the beauty in life comes from its fleeting nature. While his life was short, Icarus lived 10 lifetimes in the span of mere hours. In the modern world, it's easier than ever to get trapped by your own prisons. These vary from getting a job that you don't like to a partner who's holding you back to unresolved trauma, as much as I hate that word. If you're not yet fulfilled, you must build your own wings to free yourself. In my life, these prisons are gradually built by the apathetic shadows of my mind and wings forged by decisive action. The first time I donned them was when I was 16. At this point in my life, I was severely addicted to video games, or maybe just apathetic to the world around me. At this time, I was an athlete, placing well within the top 1% of my sport and on track to becoming a recruited athlete at a Division I college. Additionally, I was highly challenged in school, taking some of the most rigorous courses offered at my elite private high school. Essentially, I was bred to enter an elite college and graduate to a prestigious and competitive career. Despite all that, I felt like I was drowning, not from the difficulty of the path I was on, but what I was becoming. I felt mimetic desire stir within me, unconsciously pruning my future to become an investment banker or a lawyer or a quant. Luckily, on a day in May, I discovered one of my life's passions: poker. This resulted in me eventually losing my entire net worth and going into what was at the time significant debt. Around me, friends and family members were concerned, if not scared, for my future. I heard whispers in the hallways of school about my habits, and even, one time, a teacher commented on it in front of a class of 15 of my peers. To the outside world, I had drowned and sunk to the bottom of the ocean, losing all dignity and grace, but my soul flew high among the clouds. I had reignited a competitive drive, and most importantly, an intellectual curiosity. If you want to fulfill your potential like I do, you have to face this fact. The Icarian journey is inherently selfish. In the myth of Icarus, Daedalus was left to cast a torch on a hollow pyre, mourning for a body lost at sea. Likewise, you must force the ones you share the most intimate relationships with to bury their visions of you. 2 years after I had lost it all, I opened my bank account to see 5 figures for the first time in my life, built after months of battling on the felt. To me, poker is gladiatorial combat. It's a war fought with chips and cards and wit where true mastery is only revealed in the long run. Today, I'm lucky to consider these months of devoting myself to studying, battling, losing, and winning my first taste of fulfillment. In order to achieve that self-actualization, I had to disappoint those around me. I had to fly into the sun. I had to drown. My philosophy is guided by mortality, not just of our flesh, but our ideas and our work. A notion that is almost blindly accepted today is legacy, the impact that we will have on humanity. I do not subscribe to this because it's a matter of when, not if, humanity will draw its last breath. Therefore, all of your efforts are again ultimately fruitless, so you may as well act selfishly. Discarding any existential threats to mankind a century from today, and we will all be returned to ash and dust. Increasing the time horizon by an order of magnitude, and it is overwhelmingly likely that our name, along with our life's work, in the unlikely circumstance that they are remembered, will have been relegated to the back rooms of some archive basement. Another order of magnitude and more time will have passed than between the inception of Icarus and today. Zooming out, the delta between the life Icarus lived and the one he could have lived is 0.00000%. Comparing the impact of that delta to how he maximized his life, the only logical conclusion is to live for your life. All this is to say that living longer won't equate to more life lived. To me, the choice between a sterile path to my deathbed and one filled with pain, joy, and laughter is a snap decision. I embrace the beauty this life offers. For all I know, it's the only one I have. And above all else, when I'm lying on my deathbed, I hope to have lived a life rich with stories worth telling. A life like Icarus's.